Hi all, welcome to the final whistle. It's match preview night then. It's the first one after the international break. A bit of composure. A bit of composure is needed as both Palace fans and Leicester fans go into this one in a relegation battle. And I'm sure my guest is as nervous as I am, Rich. We obviously spoke yesterday on Rich's channel on Eagle Eyed Football, so go and check them out. It's Palace versus Leicester, and what a game it's going to be at Selhurst Park. It's a very nerve-wracking one. 11 big games now for Leicester to go and pick up the points, and they've got to do it against the relegation rival. So, the Premier League is as tight as ever in Premier League history, down the bottom at the minute. And, could it go down to the last stage, you reckon? Who knows? I mean, it's a big game for both clubs, this one, and both sides will want the crucial 3 points at the end of it. But I'll be joined by Rich from Eagle Eye Football. He'll be talking all things Crystal Palace. Bringing Roy Hodgson out as well, as they've appointed Roy Hodgson as manager at the age of, is he 75 or something? So, we'll be talking to Rich about Roy Hodgson, his thoughts on the season. We'll talk about last time round of where the clubs was before they met in the first time this season. We'll go through foot at both camps. We'll go through both sets of fixtures of what's left. Guys, get involved. Smash a like for me. Subscribe to the channel. And let's get this match preview underway, shall we? I'll see you in a minute. Hi all, welcome to the final whistle for the match preview of Crystal Palace versus Leicester. The relegation battle heats up, and it's the first game after the international break. Massive games to come for the Foxes and Crystal Palace as well, as both sides this weekend face each other, and it's going to be a cracker at Selhurst Park. And Brendan Rodgers takes on old fellow Roy Hodgson. Will Roy Hodgson outsmart Brendan Rodgers, or will Brendan Rodgers get that notepad out and start outsmarting Roy Hodgson? I'm sure we'll see a bit of clapping from Brendan on the touchline, and I'm sure Rodgers will be up for this one. He's obviously under pressure. Every manager has been sacked before Brendan Rodgers, apart from Steve Cooper and of course David Moyes. But Brendan's familiar, and he's been linked with a Tottenham job. So, it makes me to be seen. Good evening, Kason. How are you? Hey, Jack. How are you? Schlupp. Yeah, Jeffrey Schlupp. I'm sure Leicester fans will give him an ovation. Do you think 75-year-old can beat Brendan Rodgers? I mean, quite a lot of managers have outsmarted Brendan Rodgers this season. Eddie Howe and a few others. Is relegation battle more interesting than the title? It bloody looks it, doesn't it? It looks it. Let's get my guest in, Rich from Eagle Eyed Football. You.
My feelings are still the same even after yesterday. I don't think I'm going to be composed at all until like full time and whatever the result is.
But does. Absolutely big. It's a big game, isn't it, Rich? This one.
It's huge. It's huge. I feel. As I was saying yesterday, I think it's a big game because yes, there's for you 10 other games after this, and us 9, but it needs to be like that. You need to start building momentum, because if either of our sides get 3 wins, that could potentially be close to being enough, But it's the quicker you get those 3 wins, the better, because you don't want to be like literally trying to get those couple wins towards the back end of the season because you might be too far adrift and so on and so forth. So yeah, Saturday is massive game. And once again, thanks for the invite, and big up everyone in the chat as well.
A relegation 6 points of Rich is what it is. Talk to me firstly about thoughts on your season. I'm sure you've got a lot of positive to say about Crystal Palace. I mean, started the season with Patrick Vieira, and now you've gone to the old people's home and pulled out Roy Hodgson again, Rich. I mean, talk to me how that's all happened.
Oh my gosh, what a turbulent season it's been. All right, so we finished last season brilliantly. Like Vieira did an amazing job first season, finished 12th, and you know what? Listen, if you call my agent, I'm sure we can look something up. But what do you call it? Where was I at? Sorry, Terry, that's quality for me, by the way. It's lost my train of thought. Yeah, like we had a very good end to the last season and such. FA Cup semi-final as well. And then Vieira wasn't backed in the summer, which we thought, oh my gosh, this could be a bit of a problem. Not only was he not backed, when I look back at it, I just actually forgot that this was the season where we had a split pre-season as well. So half the squad went to Australia, half didn't. Because obviously like the vaccine laws and stuff like that, the COVID laws, and some players hadn't taken the jab and so on and so forth, which was fair enough. So whilst, like, let's just say the younger lot of our team were playing the likes of Man United and Leeds and stuff and getting some good experience out there, most of the starting 11 from like last season were playing like QPRs and Ipswich and stuff. So it kind of like, are you really challenging yourself in pre-season? Like beginning of the season starts, we've first 2 games were Arsenal and Liverpool. Then we also had like Chelsea, Leicester, Villa, all at the start. We had a very, very tough start.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. And yeah, it was just a weird season. Like I think I think it might have been not the Fulham game, Nottingham Forest, or was it Fulham and Nottingham Forest? We weren't doing too bad and stuff. And then, as everyone knows, this year we've not won a game. So Vieira, I think, all in all, he was actually to be that, because if you have not won a game all year, that's no within 14, I believe it is. That's not good. Yes, he's picked up 5 draws, and we've had a very tough run in, but it's a results business now, you know. Personally, I would have liked to see him have Leicester and Leeds game just to see, but I can understand us making a change because at least Roy's had international break to work with the players, and yeah, we're going to see what Roy's all about come Saturday. You've
obviously sat Roy Hodgson in the past, Rich. Is it a good appointment? I mean, we talk about this sort of scenario with Brendan Rodgers as well. Rodgers is one of them. I mean, Leicester fans have called for Rodgers' head. They want him out. And then there's always the big question, isn't there, Rich, of who do you replace him with? You've obviously not got much time now. You're in like nearly April now. And, you know, you're going to get a manager in. I mean, say Jesse Marsh, Rafa Benitez, managers like that. I mean, they're not going to want this on a 3-month basis, are they, Rich? They're going to want it permanent after, aren't they? Are there any managers, realistically, you'd have thought that Palace could have appointed if it wasn't Roy Hodgson?
No, because even like the likes of Benitez, whether it's Lampard, Gerrard, Marsh, Hasenhüttl, none of them would have wanted this to the end of the season. They would have wanted assurances that they can take this forward. They probably would have asked for a lot more money and so on and so forth. So short-term wise, I think it's the only thing we could really have done. Yeah. Or left Paddy McCarthy, who is our academy coach, to take the reins. But I think that would have been too much pressure for him. Obviously with Hodgson, the last time he was with us, he decided to retire and such, and rightfully so. Bless him. Then he decided, you know what, I'm going to take the Watford job. and such. And then we thought, listen, Agent Roy, do us a favour, get Watford relegated, you absolute legend. He did that perfectly. I was like, you've done your job. go and enjoy your retirement. Enjoy your time with your family. And yeah, we've decided to bring him back. But yeah, you know what? Listen, I wish we're all the best. The fans are definitely going to be behind him. From what we've seen of training clips and what he's been saying, the camp looks happier and such. So hopefully that can be reciprocated on the field, because we can have the happiest camp in the world. It means nothing if we can't win football matches.
Agreed. There was quite a bit of talk with Patrick Vieira after the sacking that he did it at other clubs that he was at before. I don't know if this is like a training thing where he goes to clubs for a certain amount of time, then it happens repeatedly. It means you look at Brendan Rodgers. I mean, we'll take him by example. 3 years in a job, and then it's all of a sudden goes downhill. Is that something what you feel happened with Vieira, where it all goes good at the start, people write him off, and then things go wrong at the sort of wrong end of the time, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I said to this season, and I didn't look back at his previous jobs with, like, obviously Nice and New York FC. I didn't look at it and think, oh my gosh, it's second seasons, Vieira's going to crumble now, sort of thing, because it's happened before. Mine was more so, look, you've had that great season where you've changed everything up. This season is now up. Teams are going to know what you do. So what's your backup plan, sort of thing? And I think for me, not so much that he struggles the second season. I just saw he then started to become a bit tactically naive.
Yeah.
You know, as if there was no plan B and stuff, which kind of didn't help. He kind of got found out. Then you've got to also look at the fact that I think he lost the dressing room. He publicly called out Hudson Edouard, and I think that was like the beginning of the end.
That's where where Brendan comes in, Rich. He does a lot of that. He called out Sion Chu, called out Dennis Pratt. He's called out all these players, and that's when it all starts crumbling down with these managers, because they then don't know what to do, and then they start blaming everybody else but themselves and take the defeats away from them. So they think, oh, it ain't my fault we lost, it's somebody else's fault. But it ain't, you know, they need to. I think with Brendan and Vieira, when defeats happened, it was the case of it was never anybody else. It was always everybody else's fault. It was never their fault that it happened, even though they're the manager who picks the side and does everything that and tells the team how to play in that. So clearly they've got to take responsibility, haven't they, Rich?
100%. And Vieira, like, I wouldn't even need to go and watch his post-match press conferences, because I kind of like, you know, we lacked intensity and stuff, and we wasn't clinical.
Sound like Klopp, well, Rich.
It's literally like, it's just on repeat, sort of thing. And it's just like, so what are we doing on the training ground then, sort of thing.
Same with Brendan.
Yeah.
That's what's happening at Seagrave at the minute, Rich. We're wondering where all these injuries are coming from. It's gone from a Seagrave training complex to a Seagrave bloody medical centre. And you're thinking, how many injuries do you want? We've had the injuries for the last 3 years. And then Brendan's like, oh, they'll be back. And then it's all of a sudden, oh, no, now they've had a setback. And you're thinking, what are you actually doing on the training pitch? And, you know, it's frustrating. And then the fans get annoyed, and when things start crumbling down, we're like Brendan now, with the fans wanting him out and all that. I think that's where the club have got to make change, haven't they, if things aren't going right. And with Palace and Leicester, you've changed your manager. What we haven't. What's your thoughts on Brendan Rodgers, Rich, from a neutral perspective?
I mean, I would have taken Brendan Rodgers myself, but
you can have him, Rich, tomorrow.
Now that I've heard what I've been hearing and such, I think he's like, when I look back at his time at Liverpool, I think he had the same issue where it kind of like it was everyone else's fault, sort of attitude. Like, he really is full of himself, isn't he?
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Gucci belt.
So what do you call it? Look, is he linked with like the Spurs job now? Like, he's going to be the type of manager that's going to land at his feet. But I think if he's having the problem he's having with Leicester, if he has that Tottenham, he's going to get hounded out anyway. So I think he needs to go abroad, just have a break from the Prem.
Yeah,
go back to Scotland if need be.
Yeah, I don't think Celtic want him back anytime soon. I don't think Rangers would have him either, because he managed Celtic. So I think with
That's a
Brendan,
good point.
you know, Spurs were interested in him before. They wanted him when Pochettino got the sack, and then Nuno came in, and then obviously Mourinho's been in there as well, Annie, and stuff like that. And then with Brendan, it's like if we get relegated this season, if Spurs want him, there's obviously been a lot of reports with Talk Sport and that they're lining him up to be the next person to replace Antonio Conte. But the thing is, with Tottenham, they're going to have the same issue Leicester have. He'll do well for 3 years, and then that is it. It'll all go downhill again, and then it'll go all back to square one. And I think that's with Brendan. He's naive, isn't he? He's a small man with a big ego, should I put it? He's got a big ego. He likes to work PR, doesn't he, very well with the media, Rodgers, and the media don't see what Leicester fans see, don't they, as a perspective of Brendan.
No, this is it. And I mean, look, every manager has to kind of adapt. Like when you look at obviously growing up, like Ferguson, he had to rebuild like 3, 4, 5 different sides to stay on at top, you know. And I just like Leicester. I think you've done things immaculately, like as a club in a sense.
Yeah,
you know, the use of the Maguire money to obviously build your academy complex and stuff. It would be a massive shame if you go down. You know, and I hope you can stay up. Honestly, I hope you can stay up. I mean, get rid of the clappers though; those are really annoying. But
Rich, we ain't got them no more, mate.
All right, happy days. Happy days.
Bring them to
just to answer Renee's question, honestly, I was hoping James Maddison picked up a knock. Can I just tell you how good a player this guy is? He is so good. You know, and he just does things so seamlessly and just picks up pockets. Like even the game against when we played you at the KP, as much of it was such a boring game. He could have had a brace. You know. If his shooting boots were, he's such a clever footballer. So yeah, it'll be Maddie. It'll be James Maddison, if anyone.
Maddison's good. Incredible player, deserves to play Champions League football. And if he was to leave Leicester in the summer, then if Mason Mount's worth £70 million, what Chelsea
he's terrible, by the way.
How much is Maddison worth, Rich? Come on. There's got to be some sort of big money in there.
Mason Mount is so poor. But anyway,
he ain't better than Maddison.
He's not.
No chance.
And this is where Southgate... anyway, no, I'm not going to write... No.
Oh, go on.
I was going to do a Southgate right now. I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, Maddison's incredible. If he does leave Leicester, then I don't think Leicester fans would be too unhappy with the decision, to be fair. We've offered him a new contract, so it's down to Maddison, but we won't blame him if he did want to leave. I mean, we can't offer him Champions League football, can we, at the minute? And I think that's where his mind's at. And that's where every good player's mind's at, isn't it, Rich, when you want to play? Look at Zaha. Played for Cardiff, went to Man United, then, you know, went to Palace, and then, you know, he wanted Champions League football with Arsenal, but Palace weren't going to sell him £60 million with it, to be honest.
No, not especially when at the time, Arsenal went off to go and then spend 72 million on Pepe. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah. And look how much they've been ripped off, Rich, when you look at them. Some of these players, you pay all these big money for them and you think, you know what, they're going to be fantastic, you know. But then you pay all like little amounts for the players. I don't know, like 15, 20 million. And I think, bloody hell, these are fantastic. And then they turn out to be £100 million players. I mean, we brought Maguire for 17 million from Hull. Played with Johnny Evans, fantastic. And then we ended up selling him for £85 million. And we're thinking, hold on a minute.
And this is what you've done.
Crazy world.
This is what you've done well, because like even with like Mahrez and Kante, you've managed to get players in for fairly cheap and sell them off. We, as a club, we've done that poorly. We've got talent. Zaha's now going to go on the free. Elise and Eze, if we're not careful, like we should be getting easily like 50 plus for those type of players. Mark Gay as well. Spurs are looking at him and want 45 million. We're laughing like, no, he's at least 60 million. You know, he's an England international now. You know, so
No.
we've got to have that same model as Leicester in the sense of like, all right, we're going to get some good talent in for cheap. We may end up having to sell them, but we need to make a profit and then bring the next crop in. We've got to keep that going.
I agree. Because these big teams think they can get the players for cheap, and that's what does my head in. You're like, that's where we went right with Mahrez. You know, Mahrez, 400 grand we brought him for when we first ever brought him from France, and then we ended up selling him £60 million to Manchester City.
Incredible business.
It's madness. We've sold so many players. Chilwell, you know, not many Leicester fans would have rated Ben Chilwell, and then, you know, we got 50 million for him, and people would say, your B ain't worth that. It'd probably be worth £1 or something like that. But, you know, 50 million is 50 million. You just got to invest it in the right way when you do sell these players. If you don't, then that's something you've got to do. Like Fofana, we brought him for not much, and then we ended up selling him for £75 million. And we're thinking, we don't replace these players. We're still yet to replace Mahrez and players like that. Kante as well. Another one in there, a hidden gem.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's Leicester's just one of them who sell their assets, and then it's harder to like replace them with. Obviously, Suter's good, but you've got to keep going, haven't you? But it must be the one athletic team in the Prem, so I don't get why they're frightened with their pace. Would you agree with that, Rich?
We've stopped running. We've stopped running, and that's the part of the problem. Like from one of the best pressing teams last season, we've run the least this season.
Yeah.
You know, and if we can get that running back up to where it should be, then frightening teams with the pace becomes easier. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully that changes from tomorrow.
Let's go on to the game, Rich. Leicester taking on Palace at Selhurst Park. Let's firstly look at the table. There it is. Let me move that thing out of the way. Palace in 12th, 20th place Southampton, 4 points from the relegation. From the bottom, shall I say, for Palace. It's a big game, isn't it, Rich, for both sides, this one? I mean, looking at the table, it's the closest in Premier League history for a relegation battle. What do you reckon?
It is. And this is why I say that tomorrow's game's very, very important. I think both sides will be happy with a point because of the other teams around. Like say Leeds have got Arsenal, West Ham are playing Southampton, I believe.
Yep.
You know, so they're kind of playing each other. I'm sure Bournemouth haven't got an easy game either.
They've got Fulham.
No, Fulham. Okay, and such. So, and I know Forest.
And then Wolves have got Forest.
Yeah, so a point ain't the worst sort of, and Everton's got Tottenham, so a point won't be too bad for both because we're expecting teams beneath us to drop points at some point. Not all of them, but some of them may do. So a point each, I think will be good. A win for either side. Very, very good start to this mini league.
Yeah, you've got 10 games left. Leicester's got 11. Leicester plays Tuesday against Villa. Villa are one of them teams, ain't they, Rich, where they're not going to go down, but they're 4 points from the European places. Villa's one of them where sometimes they don't have nothing to play for at all. They're just stuck there, and you know you ain't going to go down, and you ain't going to get you know what I mean?
But with a manager like Unai Emery, he'll want European football, and they've not had European football in ages. Like the prestige of Villa, it's normally I'd say, they've got nothing to play for, but I generally do think they've got a lot to play for this season now, and especially with Chelsea being so inconsistent.
Yeah, I think tomorrow, massive game for both sides. They'll both go for the win. I don't think they'll settle for a point. We'll expect a tough game from Palace, a team who ain't won in 2023 out of all 4 English divisions. New manager bounce as well with Roy Hodgson. You can't really write him off. You know, he's got good experience in football. He knows his stuff. But all right, then slowly approach.
I think we've got to call it an old manager bounce instead of a new manager bounce.
But no, I'm expecting a good game. I think it'll be a cracker. I think there'll be goals in the game. But yeah, Mateta hasn't scored since October, has he? Leicester's unbeaten in 7 against Palace.
I don't even want him to start. He's terrible. Anyway,
Yeah,
sorry.
I think both sides will go at it. I mean, you've got Barnes, you've got Eze, you've got Elise, you've got Zaha, you've got Maddison. You've got players who can change the game for both sides. And I'm expecting a good encounter at Selhurst Park. Let's look at your fixtures, Rich. Let's have a look at them. Leicester at home, Leeds away, Southampton away, Everton at home, Wolves away, West Ham at home, Spurs away, Bournemouth at home, Fulham away, Forest at home. They're your next 10 games, Rich. How many points are you expecting realistically out of them 10 games?
It's so difficult to say at the moment. Because, like I said, minus Spurs and Fulham game, it's every other team's beneath us, all fighting for their lives, you know. Overall, if we can get 15 points minimum, then I think we might have done enough. I think that'll take us to 42 points. So I think we might have done enough there because we're playing teams that are around us. But like I said yesterday, we need about at least 7 points from the next 4.
Yeah.
Just to be in the running sort of thing. Like anything less than that, it's going to be nervy. It's going to be very nervy.
Hello, Michael. Yes, it's a weird one, Rich. It's so close, you know. You could be winning one game, you lose the next one, then teams behind you are picking up the points. I mean, we look at Bournemouth, Southampton, teams who are out of it, and you're thinking they're definitely going down this season, and then all of a sudden, bang, they're back, and you're thinking, hold on a minute, people were writing these off, but you know what I mean? This relegation battle is close, and I don't think Leicester and Palace are expected to be there at the start of the season if you predicted where Palace and Leicester would actually finish.
100%. Neither side would have expected this. But it is what it is.
That's it.
Both clubs have got to learn from this, you know?
We both deserve to be there. I
can't even complain.
No, I can't. We've gone from bloody European candidates to Europa League and stuff like that to bloody relegation battle. I mean, we've lost a lack of ambition. And I think ambition used to be a big word for Leicester, but now it's like we're just settling for whatever, like mediocrity is it. And we shouldn't be doing that. And, you know, Leicester to win 2-1. I bloody hope so. Let's have a look at Leicester's fixtures. Palace away, Villa at home, Bournemouth. I can't see us getting anything out of Manchester City. Let's be honest. I can't see us getting anything there. Wolves, Leeds. Leeds will be a difficult game. But Leicester are one of them teams who's got to start showing fight and hunger that they actually want to win. They need that winning mentality. If they don't, then they're going to fall short. And Liverpool, another difficult one for Leicester. Newcastle away. Ever difficult the way Newcastle's playing, and West Ham last game of the season. You've got Forest, haven't you, Rich, last game of the season, and it's a weird one, isn't it? You know what I mean? One team could send another team down. It could be all down to like goal difference and that.
No, 100%. By looking at your fixtures, I said this to you. I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. I think you could pick up enough points from the home games alone. You know,
home form's key in it, Rich.
And it's the same with us. It's going to have to be based on our home form. This is why I think this Leicester game tomorrow, the game against you lot tomorrow, is important. If we get 3 points there, we can not say afford to, but the Leeds game afterwards, if we don't win that, it's not drastic. It's bad, but not drastic.
Yeah,
it'll just mean that we'd have to get something out of the Southampton away game, sort of thing, and. So if we lose tomorrow, we're in big problems. We are in big problems.
Do you think it'd hit Palace more than Leicester? I mean, we'll talk about Leicester. I mean, FFP was watching Leicester last September. We got away with FFP. I mean, FFP are watching Leicester very closely. And if we go down this season, they're going to smack us right in it. FFP will get financial fair play, and I don't think if we go down this season, we're going to lose a lot of money. Is that something you look at with Palace, Rich, this season? If they go down, they're going to be big trouble in potentially not coming back up.
Yes, not on an FFP basis, but just
No.
because we don't spend enough money anyway. And then all the talented players we have, we will literally lose our squad.
Yeah.
You know, Anderson will be gone, Gay will be gone, Eze, Elise, even Edouard, they'll all be gone. Decore definitely will be gone. You know, I won't be surprised if he goes back to Lens and starts playing Champions League.
You could bring Darren Ambrose out of retirement,
you know?
Rich.
It may have to be the case, you know.
Bring Speroni out.
I mean, it's been good to see him. He's part of the coaching staff at the moment, which is good to see, actually.
He's one of the best goalkeepers in the Championship, Julian Speroni.
He's unbelievable.
He was hard to beat.
You know, so yeah, if we go down, we're going to lose a lot of players, and I just think I don't think we'll come back up. I think it might even take 10 years.
The Championship's ever so difficult, isn't it, Rich? Now that it's so hard, it's more harder now, hasn't it? As the years have gone on with the Championship, you're not guaranteed to come back up. I mean, Burnley and Norwich, they've been lucky enough to go down and then come straight back up. Other teams haven't.
Yeah, 100%. You got to look at some of these clubs that are big clubs like Sunderland. You know, Coventry just disappeared. Who went down last year? You got not last year, but the likes of Derby have just crumbled.
Capitulated, haven't
yeah, you know, Swansea were in the league.
That's been money problems, though, hasn't it, with these little clubs?
Swansea were in the Prem a couple of seasons. They've not looked any close to coming back up. You know, you go down. There's no guarantee at
all. Let's look at this one, Rich. Premier League stats before last time out. Before the last time we played in the first game between Leicester were 20th, Palace were 15th. Played 9, Leicester did. Palace played 8. You won 2, we won 1. We lost 7. You won 3. 3 draws for you. 1 draw for us. We've not really moved much, have we, Rich, since the last meeting?
Not at all. I mean, it looks better for you guys because obviously from being bottom, you know, you're not bottom anymore. And within that, you've picked up some. As much as you've not been playing well, you picked up some wins, like crucial wins, like Tottenham
West
game,
Ham and that,
West Ham. You know what I mean?
Teams that need to be.
So with us, like I said, since we've come back from the World Cup, we've had some crazy fixtures, you know. So hopefully we can just start turning our luck around and getting some wins on the board.
Let's look at last time out, Rich. Last time round, a 0-0 draw at King Power. Brendan Rodgers said it was a very hot day. That's why we didn't get anything out of the game. He said it was a very hot day. We're blaming the weather. It was too hot for the players. I mean, what kind of excuse is that, Rich, from a manager? I mean, I'm sure he's under pressure from the sun, isn't he, Rich?
You know, I think we must have an amazing squad because we've had Pep Guardiola come out and say that the grass was too long before against us. Brendan Rodgers has spoken about the sun. And Klopp mentioned that the pitch was dry. So, like, what is it about Palace that these excuses come out?
You must be doing something right off the pitch, Rich, and not on it.
I'm definitely rattling some managers, but I tell you what, we need to sort it out on the pitch.
Yeah, it's mad. It's crazy. I would actually have thought like that had been that sort of situation of blaming the weather. I mean, yeah, it was hot that day, but it's like you've never played in the heat before in a game. You know what I mean? Look at Selhurst Park when it's really hot on a summer's day at Selhurst Park. It's boiling. And I've been there when Leicester have played it. So how sure boiling it is if he's like sitting in the front and that. But you know, you've got to win games, Rich. It's no good the excuses, we drew because it were too hot. I mean, what would you say if we lost? Right, we bounced our feet on the grass.
Let's just say he won that game. There's no chance he was going to say, "Oh, I can't believe we won. It was hot." How did we win that game? It was hot. Like, he wouldn't have said anything.
It were a boring 0-0. But both sides didn't do nothing that game. Last 5 then at Selhurst Park. Played 5. You've won 2. We've won 1, drew 2. A 5-0 win came in that, Rich, under Mr. Claude Puel. I mean, what a battering that. I think Roy Hodgson were manager then, Rich. I think one of our players got sent off, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I would love a repeat of that. I don't expect that to happen, but when like last season, obviously you came down to us and went 2-0 up, and it was we gifted you both goals. You know, we obviously managed to come back. So and I would like to say that you were better and stronger then. So I'm just hoping that we can just take the game to you. You know, if we take it to you and we end up losing, as long as we've showed a bit of fight and willingness to want to win and so on and so forth, then so be it. Like, because like I said, I've said to you before, man for man, Leicester City, they're a good squad, man for man. It's just obviously as a unit, it's just not.
We're just not you. Brendan's not getting the best out of his players. And I think the player. Do you think with Brendan, Rich, do you think it's the players now giving up on what Brendan's doing? You know, do you think that's where Leicester are at now, where they want change and they want a different style of football, which will be approached better and all that? Because Brendan's football only works for a certain amount of time. And then after that, I think the players have gave in at that point. And I think that's something that's happening at Leicester, isn't it, Rich, where the players, they're becoming frustrated with the manager and all these excuses and that. And I guess it's not helping with the way Brendan's going about things, and the fans are getting frustrated with the players, and then the players are thinking, why are the fans booing us? But you know what I mean? And then the performances are so bad. And you can see the relationship between the players and the manager sometimes. You know, when Brendan brought him off, like Jamie Vardy walked straight past him, gave him right evils once. And then Iheanacho, Rodgers went to shake his hand and Kel walked straight past him. I think that shows how the relationship's kind of breaking down between the manager and the players. Yeah.
I mean, one thing I don't like is this player power thing, but it's so prominent in this day and age and such. So, you know, on one hand, I could say, like, listen, if Brendan Rodgers, not so much calling them up, but if he feels someone's not performing and he wants to hook them off, he's the manager. He should be able to do so, you know. But at the same time, if it's kind of like targeted, and like we said, we spoke about his ego, sorry, then that's on him and that's poor.
Yeah, it is. With some players, it's like when they've not got players better in that position, they'll think to themselves, I'll play crap, it doesn't matter, I'll still play next week. I think that's some players' mentality in it, Rich, of the way they approach games. Last time out at Selhurst Park, 2-2 draw. Jamie Vardy and Kelechi Iheanacho capitalised on your mistakes. Jeffrey Schlupp came on and scored against his former club, and Michael Elise scored as well.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I think Schlupp's header just whistled past the post. We could have nicked it towards the end. I think it was from the court. It was a crazy second half. We just were at it.
It was good that game, Rich. Of course, there's all sorts of problems.
So yeah, like I said, hopefully that continues somehow.
Let's have a look at foot in both camps, Rich. James Vaughan played for the Foxes. He did okay. I mean, how did he do for Crystal Palace, Rich, James Vaughan?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It was very difficult because obviously it was kind of like just after AJ as well, you know, and Johnson was brilliant for us. So,
Andrew Johnson.
It was a tough.
You had Clinton Morrison and all, didn't you, Rich?
Yeah.
That was a strike force, wasn't it?
Very, very good strike force.
Patrick Van Aanholt, I mean, we had him on loan. I think he scored a beauty of a goal against Watford. We got him on loan from Chelsea. He were all right on loan. Patrick Van Aanholt. How did he fare at Crystal Palace, Rich?
Going forward, really well, good. Defensively, very terrible.
Jeffrey Schlupp scored 3 goals, hat-trick against
He looks really young in this picture. He looks so different in this picture, isn't he?
That was the game when he scored against Norwich away. That might have been his first goal that season. Schlupp were one of them where we'd shoot and it'd end up in Rose Head, and then sometimes it'd like come off. Yeah, Schlupp, Premier League winner at Leicester. We got good money for Jeffrey Schlupp in the end. What did Palace buy him for? How much did Palace buy Schlupp for?
I don't think it was that much. It's
8
million. I can't remember. It wasn't that much though. But he's done okay for us. He's better as a left winger or a left back. Whenever he's played centre mid, he's really struggled for us. But this season, we've had him in the 10 for a few games, and he's popped up with a few goals. So, yeah, not too bad. I'll make sure I film it as well, Tel. I'll make sure I film it as well.
Rich, we're doing it, Roy Hodgson. Come on, Roy. Paddy McCarthy.
Yeah, he's now our assistant manager. He's quality for us. Proper legend, I'd say. Gave everything in every game and such.
Captain.
Yeah, captain as well.
Captain,
so obviously, just that promotion push and stuff pivotal to all of that and stuff. And yeah, really, really good.
Neil Dant.
He did all right for us, actually.
Yeah, quite.
He did all right. Yeah.
Love Neil Dant, mate.
Yeah, good player.
Good player. Any you can name, Rich? James Scowcroft?
Scowcroft. It was kind of an indifferent season for us, actually, and stuff. Just didn't score enough goals for me, personally. Chris Powell had a short stint. I was a little baby when that was happening as well. So, yeah.
I can buy you.
Gosh.
Rich, that's the same reaction for Leicester fans when we talk about AD. I can buy you. The man would be sitters.
The fact that he just decided to have 5+5 as his number was just frustrating in itself. How was that even allowed?
we brought it from Wolves. I think it was for like £5 million, and he would. The only time when he scored, he sat there and took his top off and showed his muscles. And that really, every other chance, I think we played Liverpool once, and he missed sitter after sitter. And the guy, man, up front, you wouldn't count on him to score goals. We had him under Peter Taylor at the time, and he was terrible.
Yeah,
one of the worst strikers to ever grace the Premier League, AD Akinbaye, and not good. Rich, team selection, mate. What's your 11 then? Which formation are you going for?
I see us going 4-4-2 for this one.
Okay.
So I would go Gaeta, Klein, Anderson, Gay, and Mitchell, make the back five. Elise on the right, Dekorian and Sambi in the middle.
Yep.
Eze on the left, and then Zaha and Edward up top.
Edward. Mateta left in the stands.
Yes, please.
He'll probably be on the bench, probably come on and score against us, considering he ain't scored in a while. You talk about Palace not won in 2023, Rich. We played Southampton, didn't win a game in August at home. Since last year at home against Chelsea, a 1-0 win, and then they beat Leicester 1-0. Yeah. And then there's Crystal Palace who ain't won a game in 2023, and yes, Leicester are one of them teams who seem to hand teams points who ain't won for so long, and and strikers who ain't scored either, Rich. So I'm sure Mateta will be licking his lips, thinking, Leicester can do me a deal here, and it might be going to buy one goal, get another free. But no, I think we'll go with Daniel Iverson in goal tomorrow. I'm going to go with Wout Faes, Harry Souttar, Christensen, and I tell you what, I'm going to go for Castagna. Tete, Mendy, Maddison. So, and then we're going to go with Barnes, Dewsbury Hall, and Kelechi Iheanacho. Iheanacho loves a goal against Palace at Selhurst, so we'll go with him.
He really does.
Roy Hodgson looks like he's on his way to. Well, that's what someone said, but no, you can't put comments like that. No, Rich, score prediction, mate. What are you going for? Are you confident with Palace here?
I wouldn't say confident, but I will say 2-1 Palace.
2-1 Palace. Come on, Leicester. Let's get the win. It'll be a tough game. Every game's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a right battle. All these teams now, who's in these 9 teams who's in the relegation battle, they all need points. It's who's got the hunger in the bite to go and get them 3 points and pick up the points. But I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through one Leicester, Rich. I'm going to back the boys. And fingers crossed they can turn it around. But yeah, you never know what's going to happen with Leicester. It's been good to have that sort of break. I'm certain Hodgson was tempted back with an offer of a gold-plated Zimmer frame and some food vouchers for Iceland. Terry's cooking up what Chris cooked up on your show yesterday.
Literally. It's to be expected. I mean, we should have just let the man rest, man. We should have just let him rest.
Should have just let him settle down after Watford. I think Watford were enough for him. But Watford's been enough for every manager, hasn't it, Rich? I mean, they've had the most managers in football history, haven't they? In a club,
Yeah.
Watford.
They're just terribly run, but yeah.
Who was injured for Palace?
Just Chris Richards and Nathan Ferguson.
Fantastic. Suter picked up a knock on international break. Rogers said they rested him for the Palace game, so he should be in contention. And Sheffield Christensen, but Tillemans, he's had another setback, so he ain't gonna be playing. He's supposed to be back mid-April, but I don't think that's gonna be happening now. But yeah, not good. I think this bloody medical centre at Seagrove needs to sort all these injuries out because, it's one of them. Rich, tell everyone where they can find you, mate, and what you do on Eagle Eyed Football.
Thank you once again for the invite. Yeah,
appreciate that.
You can find us on Eagle Eyed Football on YouTube. So Palace predominant content. Watch alongs if depending on the time, because mostly myself or JC at the games, but we also have like the rest of the team there who kind of fill in if need be. So previews, match reactions, call-in shows. We try and do everything Palace related as best we can, and try and make our way around and about to other channels and just engage with the footballing network.
Yes, good. Go and check out Eagle Eyed Football, guys. Go drop them a subscribe. Go and help them get up in the numbers. Rich, I'm going to wish you all the best for the rest of the season after tomorrow, mate. I'm not going to wish you the best for tomorrow because I want us to
Likewise.
win you lot. So.
Likewise.
Oh, good. But no, thanks for coming on, Rich. It's been appreciated,
pleasure.
and I'm sure we'll catch up tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do.
Cheers, Rich.
All right, take care.
That was Rich from Eagle Eyed Football. Great guest. Great opposition view, of course. It's good to hear the opposition view on these match previews. But yeah, thanks to Rich. Guys, if you've enjoyed the stream, smash a like for me on the stream. It'd be appreciated. Let's get the numbers up. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed already, let's try and get to 2K. We're going to set the bar for, say end of the year. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. You won't be disappointed. We win. Yeah. Bye, Jack. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day and good luck. I hope. Well, bloody need it. But yeah, that is it from me. What's coming up on the final whistle? So we'll have the match day vlog out tomorrow, of course. We'll have the match review at some point, I'm sure. Leicester City women are at the King Power Stadium on Sunday as they take on Reading as they look to get out the relegation battle. But yeah, they'll look to get out the relegation zone, the women, and good luck to them at the King Power Stadium on Sunday. And fingers crossed they can get 3 points and get out the relegation zone. They're not many points away from Brighton, so fingers crossed the ladies can stay up this season. So yeah, good luck to them. I'll be heading there on Sunday. So if you see me, come and say hello. What else have we got? We've got the match preview for Aston Villa on Monday as Leicester host Villa on Tuesday. We've got the match day vlog as well. And yeah, that is it from me. Let's get the last comment on. Come in, 3 points. Come on, Leicester. Yeah, bloody hope so. We need points right now. Go and back the boys. Get behind them tomorrow at Selhurst Park. Go and sing loud and proud. And let's go and get that win, City. And let's go and get out this relegation battle, shall we? Come on, the Foxes. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you again very soon.